Let me get this face on there. Huh? What do you think of that? Boom. Here we go. Thank you all for being here. It is Monday. Loco lunes se está pegando. Glad you guys are here with me. How was your weekend? How was your Thanksgiving? Hope it was good. Hope the shitty family members left early, or maybe you got to leave early. Maybe it wasn't at your house, and you were like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Got your plate? You ready to go? We are done with Thanksgiving, and we are on to the next one, on to the largest holiday season of the year by far. And unfortunately, I know you've seen it because I've seen it. Stores putting out the Christmas shit early. I can't stand that. Call me a traditionalist. Call me an old curmudgeon. Hey, get off my lawn. I don't give a shit. I believe that Christmas should be celebrated, at least from a commercial standpoint after Thanksgiving. And I believe that you should only set off fireworks on the 4th of July. Not before, not July 1st, not July 5th. On the 4th of July. Period. That's what I believe. Vilma Reyes. She has a great question. I have an answer for you, Miss. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Jericho. Good afternoon, Miss Vilma Reyes. She says, how do I become a member? Girl, watch this. Watch this. You ready? Booyakasha. This is what you get when you become a member, and all you have to do to become one. There's two ways that I know of. If anybody else in the comments knows of a third, please put it out there. But if you go to do a super chat, it will ask you, to do a super chat, and it also give you a chance for a little icon to click for membership. Or you can go to my page, and where it says about, community, and all those little headings, there should be one that says membership as well on my page, Miss Vilma. I hope that helps. And if I'm missing something another way, or a shortcut or some shit like that, please let Miss Vilma know in the comments below. But those are the way that I know of, young lady. Monday. And after the weekend, come Monday, that's when all the craziest shit comes out. That's when it happens. All the wild shit happens on Monday. They usually push through a lot of shit on like Friday evening because they know we're not paying attention, especially on a holiday weekend. So they know what's up. They're evil, but they're not stupid. So what has been happening? Well, some of the things I want to talk about. If you guys have anything else, if you guys have anything else you want to talk about, throw it in there, and we'll see what we can do. All right. Miss Rude, I don't know what that means. I'm not too good at acronyms, but I'm glad you're here, Miss Rude. The U.S. Army is begging for soldiers to come back. But these aren't normal circumstances. It's not like, their numbers are down, but it's not like they're begging. It's not like they're begging for people to join. They're begging for people to come back. That's why I titled this live, Welcome Back. And if you are old enough, you know what thumbnail that is. That's a TV show that used to come on, I believe, in the mid to late 70s. And it was called Welcome Back, Carter. And one of the main characters is John Travolta. He was on that show. Welcome back. And to be honest with you, I never watched the whole episode of Welcome Back, Carter. It was something that would come on, like early in the morning on TBS or some shit. I never watched it, but I'm familiar. It was a little before my time, but I am well aware of Welcome Back, Carter. And old Sweet Dick Malone says, great show. All right. Like I said, it used to come on right after The White Shadow. What was The White Shadow? Sounds like some short-lived action TV show like Nighthawk. Some shit like that. You remember Nighthawk? Oh, my goodness. There's so many good TV shows Yeah, that's right, James King. Vinny Barbarino. Hey. I know that's the Fonz, but there were a lot of good. Oh, this is a white basketball coach. Look, the 80s had so many, and let me see. Let me check the how long it was on TV, because it could have crossed over into the 80s as well, but I'm pretty sure it was in the 70s. So let's see. Yeah, 4 seasons, 1975. So this is before John Travolta was John Travolta. This was before Grease. I think this was 3 years before Grease. And maybe it was on after Grease came out, but that was toward the end of Welcome Back, Kotter. But Welcome Back, Kotter is an American sitcom starring Gabe Kaplan as a high school teacher in charge of a racially and ethnically diverse remedial education class called Sweat Hogs, recorded in front of a live studio audience. You guys remember that shit? In the TV show, right after the intro, and when it first starts in the first scene, you hear the lady's voiceover say, so-and-so was filmed in front of a live studio audience. So it was on from September 75 to May of 79, so almost 4 years. So yeah, this Grease came out a year before this show ended, so he had his major popularity toward the end of Welcome Back, Kotter. But what about Saturday Night Fever? I think that was also 79, wasn't it? So the point I'm trying to make is, this is before John Travolta was the John Travolta that we know today. So yeah, Saturday Night Fever was 77. So he was getting hot while he was on Welcome Back, Kotter. But anyway, I don't know how the fuck we got there. But the point is, the army is begging for soldiers to come back, and not just we need people. They're begging the soldiers to come back that they kicked out over the Sweet and Sour Sniffles poke. As you remember, yeah, the Sweet and Sour Sniffles was going on, and lockdowns, and if you don't get this shit, you can't work here. And part of that was the military kicking out people who didn't want to get the poke. And they did. They kicked out a lot of people. But now they're begging for it. Come back, guys. We're sorry. We won't hit you again. It was just one time. I got a little upset. You burnt the crust on my favorite pie, so I punched you in the face. I won't do it again. Come back. But one of the funny things is how many soldiers they kicked out versus how many have actually come back. Also, TDS, it's still very real. We know that it's gone international. We remember seeing when Trump went to London. What was it? A few years ago? Was it toward the end of his presidency? Anyway, he went to London, and remember they had the inflated the balloon baby with orange hair. It was supposed to be a Trump baby. It was supposed to be Trump being crying. You're a big crybaby, Trump. You're an asshole. So we know that TDS is international. We know that. That's no surprise. But I've never seen it in South America. So you have that whole thing, that channel, Univision, Telemundo. Those are two like the big Spanish-speaking stations. So he went on a Univision channel and did an interview, and everybody got upset. Everybody got mad, and they pulled the interview. And so there's a clip of John Leguizamo, the actor from who had that movie. He had Pest in 1997 with Ari Spears. He had a show on Fox TV back in the day called Spicorama. Yeah, look that shit up. He did an interview, and he's being willfully ignorant. Here they play a clip of Trump talking about the type of people who are coming over the border, and we know. And he's saying these are the kind of people that they're sending, and it's true. There's proof of it. But John Leguizamo is saying, he's saying that all Latinos or people who come over the border, all of them are from insane asylums and all of them are from prisons. He didn't say all of them. He said those are the type of people that they're sending. And of course, you remember, was it on the campaign trail or during his presidency where he said they're sending rapists and other things like that? All the people coming, all Latinos, all blah, blah. He didn't fucking say that. Just like, he didn't say you can grab a woman by her pussy. We know that. But he's being willfully ignorant. And especially, it's even worse now. How many fucking years? We had a Trump presidency. We've had a few years after Trump, and you're still talking this shit. So it's gone international, and I'm going to play the video of you of John Leguizamo if you haven't had your anger blood drop for the day. And then, of course, another episode of Who Gives a Shit? And on this show, we highlight headlines and stories about stuff that nobody should care about. And, okay, and that should be the words, that should be the response. Okay, and what does it mean? There's this thing that you're clinging to, whether it be race or your sexuality or sexual preference, whatever. Does it make you better at your job, at your job? Are you better at your job because you are black or because you are part of the alphabet so grow? Does that matter? Does it make you better at it? Usually, no. No. But they focus on it. Why? Because that's all they have. Just like Nelly said, we all we got. Mads, el trompo. El trompo. Sábado, 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 el trompo. Klaus Ano Schwab. No, it does not, but that's not the important part. We don't want the best. We don't want the brightest. We want the biggest victims. That's who we want. Who can we drape in the most layers of victimhood? Like James Brown, when he was on stage and he'd get down, he'd break down to his knees. He'd get down on his knees. I can't take it no more. And then somebody would come out and put a cape over him. And they come on, James, and take him off the stage. It's all right, man. Come on, James. And then he'd jump up. He'd throw the cloak off of him. I'm back. Just like when Hulk Hogan, they be whooping on Hulk Hogan, and he gets him in the sleeper hold, and he gets him all the way down, and Hulk Hogan's sitting down. He's almost laying down, almost got him. And they hold his hand up, and it drops. Fellas, you know where I'm going with this. They hold his arm up again. It drops. Hulk Hogan's, he's choking him. Hulk Hogan's almost going to sleep. And then they hold his arm up one more time. And that's when that fist starts pumping. And he starts throwing the elbows to the gut. And then start punching. And Hulk Hogan's back. People. Will they ever get tired of this? No, they can't. Because it's all they have. Desperation. They're trapped in a corner. And they will do anything to stay alive. Even if it means crushing you. Christian, yo hoser. What are you talking about? Thanks, man. Remember, for 9 months, this Knight Rider A-Team Airwolf, Dukes of Hazzard, Incredible Hulk, plus the best wrestling ever. God loves the 80s. True, and true. Knight Rider, probably one of the best intro songs ever. A-Team, come on now. You want to see a TV show where you can shoot 500 bullets at somebody and not hit them? That's your show. You want to see a TV show where they lock a bunch of ex-special forces dudes inside of a warehouse with blowtorches and cars and tubes and shit that they can get out with? That is your show. The Dukes of Hazzard? Come on. They'd be flying over. They'd hit some ramp over there in the air, and then it pauses. Looks like those old Duke boys are in a bit of trouble. Then cut to commercial, come back. Hopefully Daisy Duke will walk around. Airwolf? Come on, man. Shout out to R.I.P. Ernest Borgnine. Is he dead? I'm assuming he is. He was old when that show came on. Was it Chad Michael Vincent? Was that who was on Airwolf? See if my memory serves correct. And you look at these shows, 4 seasons. There was only 4 seasons of Airwolf? That's right, Chad Michael Vincent. Stringfellow Hawk, Ernest Borgnine, Dominic Santini. Hell yeah. Incredible Hulk. Come on now, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. They always beat him up. Here's Incredible Hulk boiled down. Here's the footnotes, the cliff notes of Incredible Hulk. He's hitchhiking. He gets a ride to a small town. He shows up to the small town. Hey, I just need some work. I'm just passing through. They give him a job at a diner. First day on the job, somebody comes in. Hey, where's our protection money? I don't have it. What do you mean you don't have our money? They leave, right? Smash up the place a little bit and they leave. And here comes Bruce Banner. Helps him. Are you all right? Yeah, I'm okay. Hey, what's going on? Who are those guys? Oh, it's this local gang called the blah, blah, blah. They come in every week and they take my money. Oh, well, let's get you cleaned up. I'll help you clean this stuff up. Hey, man, you're pretty nice. Yeah, no problem. Why don't you come by the house tonight and have some dinner? Meet the family. Okay, so now he's ingratiated to the family. Now he feels like I got to help these people. So they come in the next week. Hey, where's our money? I don't have it. Then he comes over. Hey, guys, why don't you just leave him alone? Hey, mind your business. Boom, they whoop his ass and throw him behind a bar somewhere. And then what does he do, fellas? What does he do? He's covered up like this. And then, boom, they show his face. He got them fucking blue eyes and shit. Well, man, it's time to turn green and start fucking shit up. Love it. Vilma Reyes. Burr, 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 burr. Thank you, miss. She says, I'm missing something. It didn't give me the option to join. Well, miss, I am looking at my page right now. Right here. Damn it, stupid green screen. But anyway, my point is, if you go on the page right above me, or right above, where the video is, you'll see one that says membership. And then you click that, and that will help you become a member. Pull it up on the desktop because it works on the mobile version. Let's see. It works on the mobile version. Come on now. Here we go. Yeah. So here, let me share the screen with you, Miss Velma. Ms. Velma. So you see right here, it says membership. And then it'll show you the perks and all that kind of stuff there. So go to my page, you see the little icon there, go down, it says home, video, shorts, live, playlist, community, and then membership. All right, Miss Velma, I hope that works. Let me know if it doesn't. You don't have to super chat again to let me know, but if you got some money in your pocket and it's burning a hole in it, I'll take it, Miss Lady, but you don't have to. But that's how you do it. Aight. Oh, Kenneth Jackson. Yeah. He says Sonny Crockett and Rico Tubbs were the duo on Miami Vice. Yeah. Doom, 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 doom. That intro with the fucking Caribbean drums or whatever. And I remember the scene as a young man. As a young man, you know what team you're playing for, if you know what I mean. DMW, what up, man? So you changed the profile pic. There's that scene in the beginning where it's like showing the carnival or whatever they have down there, and this lady's walking down the street. She got like a bikini top on and she's shaking her titties. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know what those are because I'm only like 5 or 6, but I know I like them. And the fucking the rolled up sleeves. Come on. The pastel shirt with the white blazer and the sleeves rolled up. No one was smoother than Tubbs. Philip Michael Thomas. You don't leave your girl around Philip Michael Thomas in the 80s, fellas. Not if you want her to come home. He had them green eyes. I want a girl with green eyes. Attain the burning blade. Shinobi, Miami Vice, The Equalizer, and Airwolf had the best intro songs. Equalizer was, yeah, that one was hard. What was his name? Robert something? Not The Equalizer now with Queen Latifah. Oh, shit. You want to see some funny bullshit? And I tell you guys, I have, hold on, I'm trying to write Equalizer. You cannot do two things equally at the same time. Something will suffer. You guys want to see some laughable, horrible bullshit? The new Equalizer TV show with Queen Latifah is some of the worst shit you will ever see in your life. And I don't even know you, and I don't even know your life. And I know this will be some of the worst shit you've ever seen in your life. Queen Latifah is a 50-year-old mother. Ugh, not that one. Yeah, the original. Edward Woodward. A lot of wood and words in there. Woodward, Edward Woodward. Woodward. That was the good one. Queen Latifah, the new one. She's a 50-some-year-old mother of a teenage daughter, single mom. Yes, queen. She's doing it all. She's raising her daughter and she's kicking ass in the streets of New York. So it's her. She lives with her daughter, her teenage daughter, and her aunt. So it's Queen Latifah, Queen Latifah's aunt, and Queen Latifah's daughter that live together in perfect harmony. The girl isn't lacking at all since she doesn't know shit about her dad. Actually, is her dad in it? They're like divorced or some shit, but he is only in there a couple times. It's mainly just her and her daughter and her aunt doing it. It is the corniest. It is the most horrible shit. She has the Christian Bale Batman voice. I'm Batman. What do you mean? Let's have you talk to the police. It's terrible. She does this deep, kind of man voice. Horrible. Then the nerd dude, what's his name? I can't remember where he's from. Let me show you. He's the nerd dude from, I can't remember the TV show, but he plays the tech guy who can tap into anything. See if you can see if you can get me all the camera footage in New York City. Got it. Fucking terrible. And then he has a girlfriend who is a badass, and she's friends with Queen Latifah, and she was a Navy SEAL sniper. And she's like this 5'2", fucking 89-pound soaking wet Asian chick. And she's a badass. So her and the tech guy are like in love and shit. But they help Queen Latifah. They help her clean up the streets of New York City, and she has her Christian Bale voice. I'm gonna help you. Her name's Robin McCall. Oh, this is Adam Goldberg. This fool. This fucking doofus right here. Hold on, let me share the screen with you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. This shit is bad. And it has all this money behind it. It's a CBS show. Terrible. So this fool, I don't remember where he's from, but I know he was like in an old TV show or some movie that's popular. This ding dong right here. He's the tech guy. It's so fucking corny. Oh, it's so corny. It's fucking terrible. MacGyver. Oh, that's another one, Kevin Mitchell. Good one. Oh, but if you guys like me, you have a guilty pleasure. Yeah, James Bateman. That's supposed to be the new Equalizer. A 50-year-old black woman who's a single mom is the Equalizer, which is a departure from the show with Edward Woodward in the 80s. Fucking terrible. But if you have a guilty pleasure of terrible shows and movies like I do, then this is the one for you. You'll turn this off in the middle of an episode because it's just what they call it, secondhand embarrassment. If see a DMW right there from the people. He says that joint is corny as fuck. Can't watch it. It's horrible, ain't it? And I don't even know. I don't know how to explain that, but it's just, oh man, it's okay. Thank you, Weapon X. Says our tech guy was in Saving Private Ryan and Deja Vu with Denzel. Okay, cool. Maybe that's how we got this one. Equalizer, Denzel did the movies, and we just watched Equalizer 3. We saw it in the theater. We watched it at home the other day. Great movie. Great movie. And that's a perfect example of, because the Equalizer, the TV show, was a British guy, Edward Woodward, right? White guy TV show. They turned it into a movie. 25, 30 years later, it's Denzel Washington. He's a black guy. Color changed, but the character was the same. And there was no message behind it. There was no agenda behind it. There was no preaching behind it. With Queen Latifah in this TV show, that's all it is. Look at her. She's raising her kid by herself with her aunt. 3 strong, empowered black women. And then they have those buzz phrases and words as equality and equity and people of color. It's jam-packed and stuff. It's double penetrated. It's quadruple penetrated. How many holes you got? You got 2 ear holes, 2 nostrils, a mouth, an ass. I think that's it. Like actual holes in your body. If you're a fucking broad, you got a clam. So that's like 7 holes you got. So whatever the term is for 7, they're shoving it and jamming their uncircumcised, filthy, Famunda cheese packed leftist penis in all of those. It's stuffed. It's stuffed and fucked with leftist garbage. So it's not the same as the TV show going to the movie. Same message, different actor. No, this is a different actor, different message. It's a vehicle for SJW. For SJWs. That's what it is. It's a vehicle for woke, and it's fucking disgusting. Oh man, I can't explain to you how bad it is. Kenneth Jackson says, Jericho, I thought the lady played Queen Latifah's mother on Equalizer. No, it's her aunt. And her aunt is what? What do you think her aunt is? Non-binary? No, her aunt is a lesbian, of course. Of course. You have to have a gay person or a Ku Klux trans member, a non-binary. You can't have all straight people in a TV show. It's impossible. It's impossible. Weapon X says even Jada Pinkett Smith was in an episode. Well, there you go. Oh my, oh, it's so terrible. But since we're talking about entertainment, let's stay in the same vein, shall we? Let's stay in the same vein of entertainment. I'm going to show you something. Show you something and you're going to like it. You better, because if you don't, you're a racist. And don't worry, Jericho, I'm a person of color. I can't be racist. Aha! But if in that case, you are a Uncle Tom sellout, bootlicker, bedwench, fill in the adjective as you see fit. So, my wife hates when I do that. Oh, it drives her crazy, and I love it. If you don't get enjoyment from pissing your wife off from time to time, what are you doing? What are you doing with yourself, huh? Because it is fun. Okay, so are you guys ready? We're going to start with another episode of Who Gives a Shit? You ready? No, you're not. None of us are. Let's be honest. None of us are ready for this shit. Ready or not, here it is. Bam! What's that? What's that? Bunch of black dudes standing together on some kind of field with like some football players. Well, these aren't just any black dudes standing on the field. The Baltimore Ravens have made history with an all-black quarterback group consisting of players and coaches. So from the coaches on down, they're all black. Now, I know the next question. Are the Baltimore Ravens undefeated? Are they number one in all passing categories? Yards per pass, touchdowns, touchdown to interception ratio, all that stuff. Are they number one across the board, undefeated? And not only are they undefeated, but they blow their competition out of the water. The other team just gets stomped out 40, 50 points because they're all black. Apparently, this is some kind of superpower because they said they made history. History is another thing, another word that's been overused. Therefore, you've taken the sting out of it. You've taken the significance out of it. History. What the fuck does that mean now? That means nothing because you're putting that word on an all-black quarterback group. Okay, and get to the good part. No, the Baltimore Ravens are not undefeated. And no, Lamar Jackson and the other quarterbacks, if they ever get in there to play, are not number one across the board in all categories for quarterbacks. So what does that mean? That means the fact that they're all black must not have any bearing on how they do their job. If that was the case, then you would see this all across the board on every single team. What? We need all Negroes, all coaches, and quarterbacks? That's going to guarantee us a win? Then that would be history. That would be history if every single NFL team had all starting quarterbacks, all backup black quarterbacks, and all quarterback staff. That would be history. But this is history because one team did it. If being black had any sway over what kind of quarterback you were, then every team would have all black quarterbacks. If having an all black quarterback group meant wins, then every team would do it. But they don't because that's not what it means. This isn't history. This is a coincidence. That's what this shit is. This is nothing more than a fucking coinky dink. Does it make them better than our undefeated? Baltimore Ravens have made history. Is this what history is now? Stupid shit. Who fucking cares? All black quarterback group. So what? Fucking garbage. So tell your kids this is history now. This is what history means. History used to mean something. Just like back when you used to call somebody a racist. That meant something. That was a hell of an accusation. Oh man, imagine how many sellouts Twisters being called. Hanging out with this white man. It's kind of cool though. And I love you with the dope blows. Drop to the flow, when you go slow. And I love it when I hit it from the back. And you get on up, you got oh. Girl, I know how you all be right. That's to make you a celebrity. Go right. Play something that's so right. Try with I know they lie. Twister, you told her right. Make you a celebrity. Go right. Give you like Kobe right. So fucking tight. He's a little offbeat, a little quick. But that's hella funny. But what Twister's doing is not paying attention to color. He's doing something that's pretty interesting and innovative, but can't be out there with no fucking white man. You're a dadgum sellout, boy. Rick Ricard, you can't be coming out here with facts. He says, Whitey invented American football, right? Say that. Bam Bam Bigelow, don't you call Twister mumble rap. Don't you dare. Twister is fire. I think he still has a record for the title as fastest rapper. I think so. Twista's still there. Fastest rapper ever. And he has content. Like Twista's, he's tight. But he's definitely not mumble rap. True Kenneth Jackson. He says Jericho Green, the Baltimore Ravens head coach, is white. John Harbaugh. That's right. Jim Harbaugh's brother. Former coach of the 49ers. Yeah, that's right. So that puts it more in perspective. The quarterback coach, who gives a shit about the quarterback coach? The head coach? No, he's still a white dude. That shit is so stupid. Like that's like these fucking teams having the whatever's have the first female tight ends coach. So who fucking cares if it's a female? I don't think females should have shit to do with men's sports, coaching, or any of that shit. Men have their space, women have theirs. I think it's weird when women are introduced in certain situations. Like the locker room. There was a commercial. I saw this shit the other day. I think it was on Thanksgiving. I was watching the Niner game. And you really want to see the fall of society? Watch a fucking TV show with commercials. Ugh. So it had this, I think it was State Farm. Patrick Mahomes is all over State Farm commercials. And it's something in a locker room, and he was like giving some motivational speech, and they're like, yeah. And all the guys are like, yeah. And it pans over to a woman, and she's like, yeah, what the fuck are you doing in the locker room? Like some of these athletes are naked, they're getting out of the shower and shit, there's dicks everywhere. Why are you in here? Like it reminded me of that scene from Major League, where the owner of the team was a female, and she came in the locker room and all the dudes were getting out of the shower and shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing there? That's weird. The female sideline reporters. What are you doing here? This is a men's sport. Why are there chicks in the locker room? Why are there chicks on the sidelines? Get the fuck out of here. You're setting these dudes up to say or do something in the presence of a woman to get them in trouble. Because, yes, men act differently when there are women there. You didn't know that? That's true, Diesel. Twista's from that group Po Pimpin'. Do you wanna ride in the backseat of a caddy? That song's like Po Pimpin'. It's just weird, man. It fucking just makes shit weird. All right, you don't need to be here. Just like the players don't need to be wearing pink for this fucking month to shed light on it or awareness. We're aware. Football should just be football. You don't need to be painting shit. Stop racism. It takes all of us. Do that shit somewhere else. Yeah, that shit I was like, what the fuck is that woman doing in the locker room? You see any male coaches in the locker room with the female teams? Yeah, they got their titties out. Fuck up everything. Bam Bam Bigelow, I think you're thinking of something different, but he says, I want to meet a starting female tight end. That'll never happen. A woman will never, unless they want her to get killed, they would never put a woman in the NFL. Number one, they couldn't cut it physically. They wouldn't, they couldn't run fast enough or be strong enough. But let's just say, somehow, some way, some Nordic woman, Fjorgen made it. And she's a big girl. She's big for a woman. She ain't nothing compared to these men, but she's a big girl. And she makes it to the NFL. She will get murdered. There would be a 187 on the field. She would get fucked up. And it doesn't matter what position you put her in to keep her safe. She would get fucked up. I don't care if like they did those bullshit college teams where they had a kicker. A dude will go out of his way to level that woman just to prove a point. You ain't good enough. You got here on some bullshit. You don't belong here. And we're not going to let you forget that. You get that woman fucked up. But I think that shit's weird. Just like male judges for little girls' beauty pageants. That shit's weird. That shit's weird. Joe Beardy says my 5 and 3-year-old love Do or Die. They get the Walmart version for now, though. Yeah, I do that too. Some of the music I used to listen to from back in the day, I'll let the kids listen to the edited version. It's cool, and especially when they do like it, because it's a cool feeling to have your kids like what you like, to enjoy the same things that you enjoy. Fuck out of here. Matt says Leah Thomas for the NFL. Yeah, put that motherfucker in the NFL. Watch him get broke off. Watch her get broke off. Yeah, Kenneth Jackson, he says, Jericho, you can put a woman on defense. She'll still get smashed. Yeah, by a fucking, you think some offensive lineman's not going to pull down the line and ear hole that bitch? Or go up the field to run block and just truck her ass? Oh, my God. All right. You guys want to keep putting these women in harm's way? Okay. Okay, brother. You're going to have that woman like this. You're going to send her to the angels. Oh, my goodness. Whew. That is too bad. Why you guys want to do that to these women? Why do you want to put them in situations to get fucking rocked? Okay. You guys must not like women. They don't like women. I like women. I don't want to see them get hurt. I don't even like to see female MMA fighters. I don't like to see women get punched in the face. I don't want to see her all looking like the end of a fucking Street Fighter game. I think the fight went good in your first round. And her face is all smashed up. She's unrecognizable. Her parents would walk past her. They don't even recognize her face. I don't like to see that shit. Frank Mao says Stacey Abrams could play football. She probably could. A big Nell Carter looking turd. But they truck her ass too. She would get worked. I'd love to see it. I want to bring back the battle of the sexes. Remember back in the day, they'd have male athletes, male professional athletes against female professional athletes in their respective sports. I'd love to see that again. Do it. Do it. Maybe that'll finally prove to them. Maybe that'll finally drive the point home that you need to stay over there when it comes to sports and we need to stay over here. Maybe they should. Matt says Maxine Waters as running back. She would get hit so hard. She's what, 84 going on 85? That bitch is going on 85. Hold on. We about to look that shit up. Maxine Waters is old as fucking baseball. Maxine Waters. She is 85. Maxine Waters is 85 years old. Her memories are in black and white. She was born before sound in movies. If Maxine Waters was a running back, they would hit her so hard that she would just turn into the sands of time. Just dust and sand would be everywhere. Dog. Not that I wouldn't want to see it. Yes. No, wait a minute. Jerry C. Jerry C, you're confusing people, and I don't like that. I don't like people to be confused. Okay, look. Let me pull this up. Because, Jerry, you're going to have people like, wait, what? I thought he was dead. James Brown was dead. Oh, shit. Look at this. This basset hound face bitch right here. If you guys ever had a basset hound and you were like, I wonder what my basset hound would look like if it was human. Well, wonder no more, basset hound lovers, because I got it right here. If you just give her like what do they call them? Like an escaped fugitive. Like if there's a fugitive on, oh shit, full screen, my bad. Oh, I didn't know it's going to go full screen like that. I'm sorry. But if there was like If there was like an escaped convict, like what was that? The Fugitive. A bus flips over and a fucking fugitive is on the run. If you got like his T-shirt or something, you just rubbed it in Maxine Waters' face, she would be on the case. She would not lose the scent. I don't care if you're going through swamps and shit, although the fucking water, she can't smell me in the water. Oh, Bloodhound Maxine will find your ass. Ooh. Ooh, that's a looking bitch. But let's get back to Jerry C's comment. He says James Brown is 85. Yes, she looks just like James on the good foot, all that shit. But when I say she's James Brown's stunt double, I'm just kidding, okay? James Brown is dead. But we still have him here in the form of Maxine Waters. Angel Wing says, Auntie James Brown. That is fucked up. And I cannot believe you said that, Angel Wings. But I'm glad you said it. I feel good. She probably was. She's old enough. She was probably chasing runaway slaves through the swamps of Mississippi. Ah, don't worry, guys. These are tears of joy. Oh, but I don't want James C's comment to confuse people. James Brown is dead. That's not James Brown. That's Maxine Basset Hound Waters. That's a rough looking biddy right there, huh? I'm sorry for those of you consuming food right now. Let me get her out of here so you guys can finish eating. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad. But that James Brown is dead. Okay. James Brown is dead. That's not him. I don't want anybody from James Brown's estate to sue me for making disparaging remarks about their family member. And I want to clear up some other rumors too, because I don't want this to be a rumor mill. Nobody likes a rumor mill. Let me get Angel Wings, get out of here. I can't have you up on the screen anymore because that was an inflammatory statement. And I do not want you to make those kind of statements again. Yes, I do. Now this is not her either, because I call her Aunt Pearl, and I'm just kidding. That's not Maxine Waters. Okay, that's Aunt Pearl, the nosy old lady from 227. Okay, that's Aunt Pearl from 227. That is not Maxine Waters. She was not an actress, and then she went into politics. It's not her. That's another lady, and the character she played was Aunt Pearl from 227. All right. I want you guys getting play, and it's probably already like that. Helen Martin, that was her name. That's not Maxine Waters. That's Helen Martin. And I apologize for any confusion that I may have caused by calling Maxine Waters. Sorry about that. And I see you guys have gone full play in the comments. Can you please rein it in? I blame part of this on Angel Wings. I blame part of it on Jerry C. Who else gets blamed in here? Because it's not my fault. Oh, Rod Manhammer says he has her autograph. We'll see if you ever meet Maxine Waters, have her autograph something too, and then compare the two and see if that really is her. I blame Joe Beard. He says Maxine James Martin. Got it. No, that's not what I meant. And you know that. You fucking people. Big Angry Phil, not Maxine Pad. See what you people just. You people. I say one thing, and then you guys are insulting a national. I almost called her a national treasure. I'm playing. A national disgrace. I'm sorry. Where were we? I'm all off track. I totally blame you people for this. I take no responsibility. You know why? Look at that. This means I don't have to take any responsibility. This means it's the white man's fault. So I blame all of you white people in this comment section. It's all your fault. Generosity. I appreciate it. Jamie. Appreciate that, Jamie. Thanks for the Hamilton. Jamie says, Jericho, watch the Fall of Minneapolis documentary. Is that hold on, let me look it up real quick. Because I know I watched the one that Candace Owens did on George Floyd. Okay, so it's about the body-worn camera video of George Floyd's arrest, interviews with officers who served during the riots. Okay, I will check that out. Shout out to my buddy, Officer Hickey. He is part of the gang unit in Minneapolis, and he was there on the force during the Summer of Love. So I'm sure that was crazy. I got to get in touch with him. He'd be a good interview to talk to somebody who was there during that. That's a good idea. Hold on. Hold on a second. Let me write a note. You know I'm 43 now. I got to write shit down. I'm gonna hit him up. They're what? Are they 2 hours, 3 hours? Who knows? I'll try to find him. I'm gonna hit him up. See if I can sit down and talk to him, because that would be a very interesting story to hear. Minneapolis gang unit? Oh man, you know it's fucked up. Thank you very much, DM. Says, why can there be black only TV channels? Am I wrong? I think everybody should have their own fucking channel if they want it. Yeah, BET, Black Entertainment Television, which is turned into just a bunch of fucking nonsense garbage. Back in the day, when BET started, it was like black TV shows. I think it was called Out All Night. Was a sitcom that had Dwayne Martin, Patti LaBelle in it. They had a show called Teen Summit, where it was about like, you know, the black youth and different ways to improve the community. And you had some gospel programming on there. You had what was that show Donnie Simpson used to host, the video countdown that Donnie Simpson used to host? The programming was totally different. Now it's devolved into Real Housewives of fucking Compton or whatever the fuck it is. Bullshit, Ku Klux trans member nonsense. It's disgusting. BET is fucking disgusting. And BET isn't even owned by any Bs. There are no Bs that own BET. Robert Johnson, who started BET, who was a black dude, sold it to some other people who are not Bs. So BET is not owned by a B. Jamie says, I remember 106 in Park and music videos on there. That was a little bit later. That was in like the 2000s. Video Soul. Thanks, Teron Isaac. That was the Video Soul with Donnie Simpson. Again, another one with green eyes. Watch him. That was the programming that BET started with. It was actually a good show, but a good station. But now it's a bunch of bullshit. But hey, if black folks can have a TV station, why can't white folks? Equality. Don't they always talk about equality, equity, and all that bullshit? Well, here you go. Here's an opportunity. Blue Jay 813, BET Uncut. Yeah, and see again, that was a little bit later. That was in the the founding of BET. But yeah, I think after 10 o'clock was BET Uncut, where you could see a bunch of half naked hoochie mamas twerking and getting champagne poured on their heads. Yeah. Big booty Latina. Hola, Mr. Jericho. Hola, big booty Latina. Hola. Angel Wings says Compton laughing emojis. Don't come in here trying to laugh and be nice to me, Angel Wings. You started this. You're the one who got you're one of the ones. You're one of the co-conspirators that got this comment section sideways. Yeah, Mads, MTV turned into 16 and pregnant. Yeah, same thing. MTV was music television. Remember that? And now it's just like, yeah, just pregnant teenagers and fucking AIDS medicine commercials. And I mean that shit. I let my son watch Ridiculousness, and a commercial came on, and it was fucking AIDS medication. And there were two dudes on there who were boyfriends or some shit. Because let's be honest, in America, if you got AIDS, there's only one of three ways that you got it. You got it through a blood transfusion, which is extremely rare, or you got it through intravenous drug use, or you got it from diddling in some dude's turd cutter. All right? If you put your helmet in a stinker, that's a good chance for you to get AIDS nowadays. There's only three groups of people that get it. It's not like, oh shit, I bumped into a guy with AIDS on the train. Now I got it. No, it's not how you get it in America. Authentically Kennedy, what up, girl? We're coming to the end of November, which means you're going to be due soon, miss. How you feeling? How you doing? Hope everything is well. Hope that baby's giving you trouble. That baby's probably moving around. You probably got to pee every 10 minutes. This is the part of the pregnancy where women are like, hey, let's get this party started. All right, let's get this baby out. Let's get this thing going. I am sick of this, but maybe not. Some women fall in love with being pregnant, and that's great. But usually my experience is this is about the time where, all right, party's over, kid. Get out of here. Get out here. Come on. Get on out here. Let's start raising you. Let's get another one in the chamber. That's why that's why making babies is so much fun. So nice, had to do it twice. Ben Bigelow, he says, Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. You remember that movie, Who's the Man? Late 1990s, might have been 97 or something like that. Was it? Let me see. Who's the Man? Was it The Man or Who's the Man? Who's the Man? 93. Okay. That is a funny ass movie with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, the guys who hosted Yo MTV Raps. They play two guys from Brooklyn or whatever they are in New York, and they want to be cops. And their captain or whoever, their lieutenant, the guy in charge of the cadets, is Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary, 1993. What the fuck else do I have to tell you? That movie is hilarious. And I remember the scene because he says, he says, what are your names? And he says, he's all, Dr. Dre? Oh, no, it's Dr. Dre. He's like, you're a doctor? No, I just call myself that. And he goes into this bit about how his brother went to medical school for like 8 years, so he can call himself a doctor. Hella funny. Classic movie. Teron Isaac, you're right. The soundtrack was great. Remember soundtracks? Soundtracks were like half of the movie. There would be soundtrack albums that would be fire. Do they do soundtracks anymore? Man, I remember getting a few. Was it How to Be a Player? That was a good one. That was a really good soundtrack. What was it? Nutty Professor had a tight ass soundtrack. I mean, there were so many movies that had great soundtracks. The soundtrack was like half of the damn release. You got the movie and then the soundtrack. I don't even know if they do that anymore. But man, Diesel says Ghostbusters soundtrack. Yeah, man. It probably part 1 and 2, because part 2 had that song Take Control by Bobby Brown. Oh, Above the Rim, Toronto. That's another one that had Regulators with Warren G. Regulators! Mount up. You know the weather report. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the East so I can get some funk rolling in my ride. You know what Nate Dogg did? He just hit the east side of the LBC on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G. Seen a car full of girls. Ain't no need to tweet. All you skirts know what's up with 213. He gave you the directions. He hooked the left on 21 and Lewis. Some brothers shooting dice. So I said, let's do this. I jumped out the ride and said, what's up? Some brothers pulled some straps. So I said, man, I'm stuck. These girls were peeping Nate Dogg, trying to glide and swerve. These hookers were looking so hard, they hit the curb. He's on the bigger, better things than some horny tricks. I see my homie and some suckers all in his mix. Man, and my first on-air interview when I was a disc jockey at 102.5 K-Don. My first on-air interview was with Warren G. Somebody up here, somebody in the comments earlier, forgive me for not saying something, but shit just goes. They said, what's up, Rambro, or something like that to me. That was my name on air, Rambro, R-A-M-B-R-O. And Warren G was my first on-air interview. And I remember, Spencer T, the show. Another great one. I remember it was a Saturday night. We had a concert coming up. And after a certain time, on pretty much all day on Saturday, just the weekend people are there. So I was on Saturday night. Warren G was coming through. There's like a side door to the studio, little peephole. You look through to make sure it is who it's supposed to be. It was him and like his manager. They came in. So of course, I was born in 80. So the 90s were my adolescence, and what Warren G, his album came out. Above the Rim, I think, came out in 93. And then Warren G's album came out in 94. So I would listen to this thing over and over, flip the tape over. A tape, kids, was a form of listening to music. Records, 8-tracks, tape, CDs. But I had a tape. And my Walkman didn't even have rewind, so I had to flip it over and fast forward that shit. You know how good I got at fast forwarding to the exact point? Anyway, he comes in. So I'm a huge fan of Warren G. My brother and I we'd always do that skit, the 1994 draft. And then there was a skit with was supposed to be Jesse Jackson there making fun of him. I must repeat and cheat once again. And we'd always say that to each other. So I'm a huge fan of Warren G. He's standing right there in front of me. I meet his manager. I don't even remember his manager's fucking name. I shake his hand. Hey, Warren, thanks for coming. Now, on the surface, I got to be Mr. Professional, disc jockey. This shit happens all the time. No big deal to meet a celebrity. Come on in. Bing, bang, boom. We're going to do this here. But on the inside, as a fan, it's like a duck on the water. On the top, on the surface of the water, man, that duck is cool as the other side of the pillow. But underneath, fucking laying and going like this. So on the inside, I'm like, oh shit, Warren G, I can't believe this shit. I used to listen to you on my headphones. Now you're here. Holy shit. But I maintain, you never know. It was almost like I was playing it off like it wasn't even a big deal he was there. So yeah, Warren, hey, how you doing, man? Call him Warren like I know him. Warren, we're going to do this. We'll come out of the talk break, blah, blah, blah. Ask you a couple more questions. We'll go into your new song. When we come out of the song, we'll start talking. Because, there's a flow to it. There's an ebb and a flow. I would come out of a song. Ew, this is Rambro here, blah, blah, 102.5 K-Don in the studio right now. I got my man from the LBC, Warren G. What up, Warren? Hey, what's up, man? Blah, 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 blah. And he was high as shit. Warren G was high as giraffe pussy. Eyes slam. That's what we used to call your eyes are slam like this. I remember one time in high school, after toking some reefer with my friends, we had this Korean dude. Shout out to Kenny. And if he heard this, he'd be laughing his ass off. he tells us, hey, man, are my eyes slammed? We're like, dude, you're Korean. Your eyes are always slammed. We had a big laugh about it. And no one was laughing harder than Kenny. I know you can't make jokes about people in 2023, but I just did. So, Warren G was high. He kept saying, So fortunately, it was a recorded interview. It wasn't live. So I was able to take out all that the dead air and stuff. So it sounded like a good interview. But man, yeah, Warren G, I'll never forget that. You never forget your first. But it was really cool to have him come in the studio, and it was just me, Warren G, and his manager. That was it. I had no backup. There's nobody there to come with questions or to make sure everything was right. It was just me. I had to do it. And fortunately, I thrive under pressure because, pressure makes what? Diamonds. So it was cool to sit there with him and chop it up with one of my musical, I don't like to use the word icon because I didn't worship him or anything like that, but definitely a fan of his, and it was definitely really cool to talk to him and ask him some questions. And I don't even remember what the fuck I asked him. I couldn't tell you one question I asked him, but it was good because afterwards he was, "Hey man, that was a good interview." So yeah, that's all I needed to hear. So shout out to Warren G. So can we finally get to one of the reasons I'm doing this live stream today, people? I see the supers. I will get to you. I promise. Shine bright like a diamond. Ugh, I hate Rihanna. Thank you for that, Authentically Kennedy. Shine bright like a diamond. Her and her fucking beta husband that she probably pegs. He holds his legs up behind the knees, and she pegs the shit out of him. No pun intended. She's cutting his mouth. Weak to baby. I can't help it. Fuck me. Gross. Gross. Okay, hold on. Want to get back to the comment because I did ask Authentically Kennedy how she was doing. She says, feeling great. Thank you. And ready for our next one. Whoa. Hold on, girl. You got to handle the first one for the next one. Calm down. But that's great. Love the attitude. That's what we need. We need more good people having babies. You know how they're made, people. So get out there and start making them. Thomas Bailey, Exhibit was tight. I met Exhibit. I met Exhibit at the Catalyst in Santa Cruz, dude. Oh, met him. He's cool. Shorter than I thought. It's one thing you notice when you meet celebrities. A lot of celebrities, they're always shorter than you thought they would be. And it's not like you're disappointed, but you just expect, maybe it's, the way they're filmed on TV and the way we build them up in our minds, we think that that they're going to be tall, but usually they're not. Most of the celebrities I met, aside from like athletes are as big, if not bigger than you think they really are. But as far as like entertainers, musicians, and stuff like that, actors, usually they're a lot shorter than you think. And that's just the facts, people. Yeah, Weapon, except for Snoop. Yeah, dudes that are like 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, they're tall, but most celebrities are not tall. And you're like, damn, man, I thought nope, short as fuck. I think the shortest celebrity I ever met. Remember that dude, Omarion? He was in that group B2K, the little teen heart throbs from like the early 2000s. He had some solo success. I don't know if he's ever. Oh yeah, he had that movie. What was it called? You Got Served. Oh, that was horrible. That movie was horrible. But anyway, if you guys know who I'm talking about, Omarion, a little R&B singer, little dancer and stuff. So he comes to the studio, does an interview and stuff like that. And there's this wall when you're leaving the studio, because you take them in a big loop. When they come in, they hang a left, go to the studio, walk all the way around, and then they leave out of another door. Well, they leave out of the same door, but they're coming from a different side. So this wall, that wall that's right outside of the conference room, that's where we have all the meet and greets and stuff. That's where the listeners go in there and they wait for the artists to come in. So that's what he was doing. You do the interview first, and then they go into the conference room for the meet and greet. And the meet and greet was full of people. And there's a long wall, and all the artists, because in the radio station, it's not just the station I work for. There was a Spanish station, La Preciosa. There was a country station, K-Tom. You had the R&B and old school station, K-Ocean. You had, what was the talk station? KION 1460. That's like the talk radio station. So all the stations, all the celebrities that come through sign that wall. So Omarion, yes, exactly, authentically Kennedy. Eat the booty like groceries, Omarion. Yes, he had a song where he talked about that. I think that was with Chris Brown and some other chick called Supposed to Be. But he came through and he had this big ass Samoan security. This dude was as wide as the doorway. He had to be 6'6", like 350 pounds. This dude was fucking gigantic. And Omarion wanted to sign because the autographs are they're kind of in a one area or at one level because people are around about like a certain height. So all the autographs are kind of in the middle of the wall, but he wanted his to stand out. So he wanted to sign all the way up at the top of the wall, almost by the ceiling. But of course, being, I want to say 5'5", or I might be he 5'6" in his dreams. This dude had to be like five, little dude. He sits on top of the Samoan security guard's shoulder like a parrot and signs it almost at the top of the wall by the ceiling. I was like, man, I don't know. But just something about sitting on another man's shoulders that, it struck me as odd. But he sure did. He sat on his security guard's shoulder and signed his autograph at the top. I was like, you are a tiny little motherfucker. Okay. So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, celebrities are usually short. And the women, crazy short. Like, they're tiny, like 5'1", 5'2". You're like, damn. Little bite-sized people. Fun size. If they were candy bars, you call them fun size. But anyway. It's not what I meant to do. There we go. There it is. DM, once again. Appreciate that. DM, thank you again. He says, you heard about Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Would love to have a stream with you. Salty Cracker and Mark Dice and JG Rule. Also, did you leave California? No, I'm still behind enemy lines. Thanks for asking. I've never heard of Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I think I've heard of Geeks and Gamers. If they would like to do a stream with me, give them my email, jerichogreen2018@gmail.com. Hit the wrong button. Somebody please put my email in the chat for me, please. jerichogreen2018@gmail.com. They want to do a show? Hell yeah, I'm down. I'm down. Sergeant Mode, what up? Thank you for being in here. Now I feel safe. Bam Bam Bigelow says short girls usually have excellent TNA. All right. All right. Thank you, Angel Wings. You feel bad? Is that why you put that in there, Angel Wings? Because you feel bad for turning this damn comment section sideways. Thank you for putting that in there. DM, she put it right there, 2 comments above yours. jerichogreen2018@gmail.com. Yeah, let them know. They'd like to do that for sure. I'm glad you caught the live as well, Sergeant Mode. Thank you. Michael Coulter, what up? Shout out to the Niners. You damn right. You damn right. About to get in that ass like a bike with no seat in Philly. I can't wait. Can't wait. Okay, so the Army aren't really men yet. That's what Army stands for. But the Army's hurting. They need those people back. It fucked up. Hey, you fucked up. That fucked up. Sure did, you dumbasses. So it says Army invites back soldiers discharged for refusing COVID-19 vaccine. No, say it isn't so. I mean, you guys didn't do your due diligence before you kicked those men and women to the curb. Washington. Nearly a year after Congress forced the Pentagon to rescind its mandate requiring all troops to receive the coronavirus vaccine, 19 soldiers have rejoined the Army after they were discharged for refusing the shot, the Post has exclusively learned. Good. And no shame, no hate on those 19 soldiers that went back. They have their reasons, but the fact that it's only 19 tells you exactly how they made those soldiers feel. The news comes from after the service sent a letter earlier this month inviting former soldiers who declined the jab to apply to rejoin as military faces recruitment challenges. Oh, now you need them. And only a year ago, you guys were so short-sighted and so sure of this bullshit that you kicked those people out. Imagine how much their lives have changed in a year. Imagine what they had to do to get by in a year, and now you want them back. Last week, the service notified vaccine-related discharged soldiers they could contact their local recruitment office for information on reapplying to the Army. As part of the overall COVID mandate, rescission. Wait a minute. Rescission. RESCISSION. Rescission process mandated by the Congress. The Army this month mailed the letters to approximately 1,900 individuals who had previously been separated. Army spokesman Bryce Doobie told the Post. 1,900. So out of almost 2,000 soldiers, only 19 came back. Those who refused the vaccine did not receive an exemption, were booted from the military for violating a lawful order. In the Army alone, 1,903 soldiers were discharged under those conditions. That's a low number. You think more of them would have refused. But whatever, people have their reasons. You know, they have their reasons. If you have a lifestyle built around your income, or you're the sole breadwinner, or this is what you want to do, whatever. People took it for whatever reasons they want. And I've never, people who want to get it, fine, that's you. Great. But where I have the problem is where you say where they force people to get it. That's fucked up. The Army has invited soldiers discharged for declining to receive the COVID-19 vaccine to reapply to join the military, U.S. National Guard, military and U.S. National Guard. But now that the mandate has been rescinded, the Army is welcoming back unvaccinated soldiers so long as they meet certain requirements. While the Post was unable to find a clear-cut list of standards for acceptance back into the service, defense officials say applicants are considered on a case-by-case basis. Now, maybe you don't answer it here. For example, a soldier who quietly and politely declined the vaccine is more likely to be allowed to return to the ranks than one who became openly defiant and acted out against their superiors. What the fuck difference does that make? What difference does that make what their attitude was when you presented them with the ultimatum? Those who quietly and politely decline the vaccine are more likely to be allowed to return to the ranks. Fuck you. Though just 19 of the 1,903 discharged soldiers have gone back to active duty, the Army expects that number to grow following the letter's circulation. So they expect more people to come back. What kind of discharge did they receive? 19 unvaccinated soldiers who have gone back to active duty out of the 1,903 who were discharged for blah, 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 blah. The letter also reminded former soldiers that they can petition to have their service record corrected if their discharge or disqualification was an error or unjust. In fiscal year 2023, which ended September 30th, the Army came up short of its 65,000 recruit goal by 10,000 new troops. So they needed 65, they got 55. But what kind of discharge did these soldiers receive? Was it an other than honorable? I hope it wasn't a dishonorable discharge. But I mean, if you were discharged for refusing a lawful order, it could have been. But I hope to hell it wasn't a dishonorable discharge for that. And for them to say those who quietly accepted it or quietly refused it will have a better chance of being reinstated versus those who did it. Why does that matter? If they want to come back, they want to come back. What the fuck does that matter how they acted when you kick them out? When you kick them out. Well, a little desperate now, huh? You're a little desperate now. Why don't you just go get new ones? You thought so little of those soldiers that you kicked them out for not taking the jab. So why don't you just go get new ones? Oh, yeah, you fell 10,000 short. So now you have to come back and beg those people to come back. Weapon X, you're right. That would be fucked if it was a dishonorable. I sure hope not. That's fucked up. If it was a dishonorable for that. That's fucked up. Troy Simmons, you leaving? Peace out if you are. Thanks for being here. Aaron M, they will recruit illegals. They'll do whatever they have to do. Or they'll just make them not illegal anymore. They'll give them amnesty. You want amnesty? Agree to join our armed forces for 4 to 6 years, 6 to 10 years, whatever they want. And that's messed up. Don't you want the troops who refused? Don't you want the troops the soldiers that are going to stand up for what they believe in? I figured you would choose those over the ones that didn't. But again, the people who got it, you got it for whatever reason. I don't give a shit. But to kick somebody out for not getting it, that's messed up. They put enough experimental shit into soldiers and sailors. I know I got the anthrax vaccine when I was in the service, and what they do is they gave it to us when we were overseas. They gave it to us before we made it over to the Persian Gulf, because anthrax and all that shit. That's where it came from, or we don't know if that's the ultimate origin, but that's where we were having issues with it. We're in the Middle East. It was coming from terrorist groups, so we had to get the anthrax vaccine. We were literally on the ship on our way to the Persian Gulf, and they announced that we needed to get the anthrax vaccine. And I remember there were 6 shots. It was a 6-shot series. And I think it was you had to go back 3 times to get 2 shots per visit. And I remember that shit burned like crazy. Aaron M. Jericho is radioactive. I might be. But I remember that shit burned like crazy. I mean, it felt like, and it was right under the skin. It felt like it was on fire. No bullshit. It burned, I don't know, for 5-10 minutes, and then it stopped. But man, that shit hurt. And you would see people walking around, kind of like fanning it or some shit, trying to cool it off. That shit hurt. But they sure did. They gave us that motherfucking anthrax vaccine. Who knows what it did or what it's going to do? I don't know. But they do enough experimental shit on you. And again, the way that they presented it, they were like William Whitlow says, no BS, it still is 6 shots. It is? Okay. The way they were acting, they were acting like tweakers. They were acting like fucking junkies. The way that they pushed the vaccine. Oh, man, you got to take this shit. Everybody has to. Everybody take this. You got to take it. Take it. Everybody has to take it. Chill the fuck out. This is the only way? This is the only way to combat this shit that we don't even know that much about? And everything that I know to be true, you're telling me it's a lie, even though I know it's true? It's a lie. I shouldn't believe myself. I shouldn't believe my research and my homework. And just my common sense. Common sense will get you a long way. Sergeant Mode, you know, that shit burned like crazy, and it was right under your skin. I don't even know how to explain the feeling of it. But man, to do that, and now you're turning around a year later. How short-sighted and fucking stupid were you that a year later? This isn't 5 years later. This is very soon after. So how much thought did you give this? How much planning did you have to a year later? You're asking these people to come back. You think it might have something to do with what you've done to the military as a whole? You think it might have something to do with you allowing Ku Klux trans members to openly join the fucking military? And the military will pay for you to get your tits shaved off? Or to have your testicles tied in a balloon knot until they fall off like you're some kind of farm animal? You think the maternity flight suits and the timeout cards might have had something to do with the way that people view the military and not want any part of that shit? Now, I don't know how it is for the ladies. And if you want to know how it is for the ladies, then you should check out my other channel, Green's House. And interviewed two veterans of the U.S. Army, two MPs, two ladies, Amanda and Michelle. They also own the wonderful company, Hearts of Oak Creations. Check that out, heartsofoakcreations.com. But they explain why they joined the military, why they became MPs. Amanda was a drill instructor and then an MP. They explain all that. But that was then. For fellas, of course, I can't speak for everybody. But fellas usually have there's some patriotism involved. You want to serve your country, but you also want that military experience that you've seen on TV, Full Metal Jacket, and other movies, or what was the one with Louis Gossett Jr., Officer and a Gentleman. But those movies you've seen where they're yelling and barking at recruit, 1, 2, 3, 1. You want that experience. You want to be yelled at. You want to be pushed to your limit. Steel sharpens steel. You want to be made a better man. But you want that boot camp experience. You want somebody to shave your head and yell at you for months. Rodman or mayonnaise, that's right. I got nowhere else to go. You've seen the like a Full Metal Jacket where the shit that their drill instructor Lee Ermey would say to them. It was mean, but it was fucking hilarious. You wanted that. And you get there and they give you a couple cards where you can take a 15-minute timeout and you're not going to wake up until 6 o'clock. Wait a minute. This isn't the experience I wanted. I could have stayed home for this. When I was in boot camp, you were up at 3:30, 03:30 at the latest. And I remember I don't remember how many times they did this, but they would come in, open the door, and they would throw a trash can in the barracks. Blam, 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 all this fucking noise. Oh, you're up out of your bed like this, sleeping, you barely getting adjusted to the light. You hear the buzz of those fluorescent bulbs above you. You're in your skivvies and your t-shirt with your dog tag, standing at the foot of your rack, swaying in the wind because you're still tired. Pretty soon we would be up. Our eyes would be up. We'd be laying in our racks, and you hear them open the door, and then boom, there comes the trash can. But you're used to it now. They have what's called day of training push-ups. So if you were in your 5th week on the 5th day on the spot, you had to do 55 push-ups if an RDC told you. You wanted that. You wanted to go through that crucible. You wanted to be a civilian sack of shit in the beginning and a Marine, a sailor, or a soldier on the other end. When you came out the other end of basic training or boot camp, depending on the branch you joined. And I don't care who you are, how long it's been, you remember the name of your RDCs. If you're in the Navy, recruit division commanders, other branches, DIs, drill instructors, whatever. You remember their name. You could meet somebody right now. You won't remember their fucking name until you hear it 5 or 6 times. But I guarantee you remember every single one of your drill instructors or your RDCs. I know I do. It's been 20 some years. Petty Officer MM1 Conkle, SC2 Jackson, and FC2 Floyd. I'll never forget those mean motherfuckers. And they're mean to you up until when? The last night before you graduate. That's when they might let you watch a movie. They actually like stand around and talk to you. Like, oh shit, you're a human? You're a human? RDC? I thought you were a fucking cyborg sitting here from the future to fuck my life up. You're a real person. You got kids? Shit. Now? I shout out to my man Tom. That's all I'll call him. I don't want to get him in no trouble. He told me he went through boot camp last year. He said they get up at fucking 6 o'clock and they have training timeout cards with your anxiety, you're stressed, whatever. You can hold this card up and you get 15 minutes to to collect yourself. What? I'm sorry, what? There were no such cards when I was in there, nor did I want there to be. This is not what we wanted. This is why you're falling short, because you're not giving people the experience that they expected. They didn't expect to be treated like a bitch. Sergeant Modi said, if you had fire watch that night, you were fucked. Oh, man. The worst watch shift in military history, I don't care what branch you're in, is the mid-watch. Oh, the mid-watch sucks. Because the mid-watch is from midnight to 4. But you have to show up. You have to be there ready to roll at 11:45 because they have to pass down the information, what's been going on, different things, or depends if you're doing you're on watching the engine room, or if you're a forward watch or roving watch, they have to fire watch. They have to explain to you, here's what's been going on. Here's what we're looking at. Blah 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 blah. All right, and they hand it over to you. Now you're on watch. So if you're on mid-watch in boot camp, the old boot camp, you are on watch. You're coming to the end of your watch as everybody's being woken up. So you're walking around the perimeter of the barracks just watching everybody get fucking bent. Get up. All that shit. You're a spectator because you've already been awake. But it's the worst because you go to bed at 10 p.m. 2200, lights out. Taps, lights out. Maintain silence about the decks. Now taps. So you're in bed at 10 p.m. You just had the hardest day of your life. You're in bed at 10 p.m. and you got to be up at 11:15 to get ready to relieve the watch at 11:45. So you don't get no sleep. And then you're up until everybody's awake. Do you think they say, hey, recruit Green? Why don't you lay down, get a few hours of sleep since you didn't get any last night, and then you can join us in our evolutions later? No, you're just up for the rest of the day, for another hard day, and you've had an hour and 15 minutes of sleep. That shit sucks. And then if you fall asleep on watch, just kill yourself, okay? Do it yourself. Because if you don't, your RDCs or your drill instructors are going to kill you. And then the rest of your division, or I don't know what they call it in other branches, but in the Navy, it's your division. If the rest of your division is going to look at you like a piece of shit because you fell asleep on watch. You're supposed to be watching out for them as they sleep, literally watching out for them as they sleep, and you fucking dozed off. do that. I mean, mid-watch is the worst. But that's the experience you want, not maternity flight suits. I don't want to see no woman waddling to the fucking cockpit of an F-22 doing barrel rolls, fucking that baby up. What are you even doing up here? If you're preggers, you need to sit this one out, homegirl. A maternity flight suit. Just the idea of that is fucking ridiculous. Lisa Weeb, am I saying that right? She said, excuse me, I had Firewatch. We've all had Firewatch. Firewatch fucking sucks. Yeah, so that's right, Sergeant Mo. Falling asleep on watch is suicidal. Just do it yourself. You'd rather do it yourself than have your RDCs do it or your drill instructors do it. Oh, you fall asleep on watch. If you don't know, you don't know. If you've never experienced it, I can't explain it to you. But it's bad. Matthew Coolidge says, how many G's could a baby take? I guess if you join the Air Force, you can find out. I guess you were going to find out. Authentically Kennedy says, my stepsister was in the Navy. Then those suits came out and she got one. They shouldn't even be available. They shouldn't even be available. If you're pregnant, you can't fight. You can't fly. I'm sorry. If you got pregnant on a Navy ship, they flew your ass back to your base because you're of no use pregnant. Plus, there's a baby in there. There's a baby in there. Authentically Kennedy says she should have never been in the Navy. She was an America hater, but now she appreciates it a bit more and will be voting for Trump. See, there's hope. There's hope. Chuck says pregnant sailors go to decal and ID office. Yeah, there was a whole group of them at the main back at the base. There's a whole group of pregnant women, and they basically help in the office. They're basically a team of secretaries waddling around with their shirts untucked because their bellies are big. And that's cool. It's totally fine being in the military and being pregnant. That's what happens. You're a female in the military, you're married or something. Yeah. You're going to get down with the get down at home, raw dog. It's going to happen. That's fine. But should you be in a fucking fighter jet? No. Call me crazy. The old bag says, what if it's a pregnant man, though? Well, that's different. Those babies are tough. Never mind the fact that there's no way humanly possible a man could carry a baby due to the whole, rib cage thing, the hips. Where does he deliver the baby from? There's only two ways that baby's coming out. It's either coming out through your pee hole, it's either coming out from the front hole or the back hole. Either way, it sounds like a lot of pain to me. Your hips aren't going to open and all that. You don't have a birth canal. That thing's coming out. Are you going to do a fucking alien chest burster? I guess it would be a C-section? So if you're a pregnant man, you have to have a mandatory C-section because women, depending on the situation, they have the option. You can go C-section or vaginal birth because, they're built for that. But if you're a man, we're going by their fucking crazy logic. If you're a man that's pregnant and not only birthing the baby, but carrying the baby, where's it going to go? Women's intestines will move around to give the baby room to grow inside of them. Your intestines will move. What about the men? Where are fucking intestines going to go? The baby's just on top of them? What? Fucking idiots. Rod Manhammer, like that Cosby Show episode when the men had babies. Oh, that shit was so funny. And really, they didn't even have babies. They actually birthed what they like. Because remember, Cliff, he birthed a hoagie. I think Denise's husband, who was in the Navy, he birthed a boat. I don't remember what Theo had. But yeah, that episode was fucking classic. But you know why that episode was so funny? Because of the ridiculousness of a man having a baby. That's hilarious. That's funny because it's not real. Men having, at one time in America, pre 2023, pre woke shit, it was funny and it was laughable to think about a man having a baby. Hilarious. Now, what wasn't hilarious, what was not funny, was the movie Junior that Arnold Schwarzenegger made when he was pregnant. I think they wanted it to be funny. That shit was terrible. But the idea is funny. A man having a baby? That's ridiculous. Now it's in fucking books. Now you have to believe it or there's something wrong with you. Wait a minute. I have to believe that a man can have a baby. And if I don't, there's something wrong with me? Okay. That's the world we're living in, huh? If I don't believe that a man can have a baby, there's something wrong with me. Wow, how the tables doth turn. Bam Bam Bigelow, that's right. Start of Arnold's downfall. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Yeah, I'm going to have a baby. What? And that whole, not even that part of it. Just in that movie was the brainiac, smart nerd Arnold. That's not the Arnold we know. You're supposed to be blowing shit up. You're supposed to be killing aliens. You're supposed to be fighting robots that come from the future just like you. You're supposed to have a cigar in your mouth, kicking ass. Not actually the molecular structure of the DNA and deoxyribonucleic acid. Shut the fuck up, Arnold. Your accent does not lend itself to being a nerd. You're just supposed to go, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Very simple. Junior. Ooh, that was bad. Chuck says, I remember in 04 got knocked out by an E2. They were sent home. Yeah, I would think so. Let's see. Let's see. I could probably do it in the other branches. So 01 in the Navy is an ensign. That's the one gold bar called a butter bar. So in the other branches, that would be what? Second lieutenant. So that's 01. 02 in the Navy is lieutenant junior grade. That's one silver bar. And in the other branches, that would be what? A first lieutenant. And then 2 silver bars in the Navy, that's a lieutenant. In the other branches, that's a captain. And so in the Navy in 04, that's a gold leaf. You're a lieutenant commander. And in the other branches, that would be a major. So that's up there. That's I mean, any officer, you'd be in trouble, but in 04, that's an officer. In E2, that means you're right out of boot camp. Oh, yeah, you're going home. You're going home, and we're going to make a pit stop at the brig before we take you home. You're going to serve some time, player, before you go home for striking an officer. Yeah, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. Yeah, now they got those furries and shit taking pictures. Look, man, take the uniform off. Shout out to Tori D. She was my co-host on Stop the Fuckery on the last show. Gian will be back this week. But she is a former San Diego PD. And she was Thomas Bailey at G.I. Jane was fucking stupid. She was showing me a picture of San Diego PD, so actual San Diego police officers were in a pride parade in their uniforms. You want to get out there in your civvies and promote that shit? Fine. But not in uniform. That's just disrespectful to the uniform. The uniform should have nothing to do with your sexual preference, your race, or anything. Your uniform is something separate. The uniform is what you put on when you serve this community. not something you put on when you're highlighting fucking perversion and debauchery. What the fuck are you doing? All that personal shit in your life, that's separate. When you put on that uniform, you're a different person. You're serving in the military or you're a police officer. That's who you are. You're not who you fuck or your skin color. You are supposed to represent that uniform properly. And being in a fucking pride parade or wearing your furry dog mask or your collar is disgusting. Rodman Hammer says, I was stationed in San Diego. They had a store game. I bet they did. Lisa Weeb says that she was an E2 when she joined the Army, as was I. I guess it was when I joined, technically. But because I was in Sea Cadets, when I got out of boot camp, I was an E2 instead of an E1. So that was pretty cool. That was a nice little pay bump right out of the gate. That was nice. I don't know, man. That's just disgusting, man. That's just disrespectful. And not only is it disrespectful to that uniform, it's disrespectful to everybody else who put that fucking uniform on. Cop, firefighter, military, it doesn't matter. Your sex life has nothing to do with that uniform. But they were out there holding the signs, rainbow badges and shit. So that makes me think when you're wearing this rainbow badge and you're in these pride parades, that makes me think that those are the people you are going to protect first. So if it was a gay dude and a straight dude who are having an altercation or an issue, that makes me think you're going to side with the fucking gay dude because, well, you got your rainbow badge on. A badge. The metal badge they wear on their chest is fucking rainbow. So who does that tell me you're going to be looking out for? Who does that tell me you're going to side with, even if they're wrong? If you got pulled over, but if you were having a situation and an officer pulls up on the scene, one of you is white and one of you is black, and the officer has a fucking Klan hood on his badge, who do you think he's going to back up? You're having an altercation. One of you is black, one of you is white. The officer pulls up on the scene and he has a black fist on his badge. Who do you think he's going to back up? It shouldn't be like that. Fucking rainbow badge. Why do you even make those? Why do you even make a rainbow badge? That's disgusting. Old Sweet Dick Malone says, I got an old sweet dick. Nobody needs to know, but we do. Old Sweet Dick, we do. It says the pride flag reminds me of Nazi flags. It does. It's disgusting. Fucking disgusting. Both of those flags are disgusting. Yes, I just equated the rainbow flag with the Nazi flag. They're both disgusting and detrimental to our society. Bam. Simeon Merriweather. Question: the 20 years you served in the Navy, do they still pay you? I didn't serve 20 years in the Navy. I did not. So no, they don't pay me anymore. I get no money from the Navy. I got to remember to find my homeboy, see if he's still in the gang unit for Minneapolis PD during the Summer of Love. Well, guys, we did 2 hours today, almost 2 hours. Proud of you. Thank you very much. I will be back here mañana, same time, so make sure you are. And just imagine all the crazy shit that's going to happen between now and tomorrow. Whatever it is, we'll be right here to talk about it. This is a therapy session, guys. This is a big therapy session. There's 184 people laying on a couch in my office right now. This is therapy for you, and this is therapy for me. Authentically Kennedy says, my husband served 13 years and doesn't get shit. Shame. You would think that we would take care of our soldiers and our sailors and our Marines and airmen who who voluntarily joined to protect this country. Forget it. I'm just talking crazy shit, taking care of our servicemen and women. I forget it. It's dumb. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. But thank you guys for being here. We'll be here mañana. You were great. I was great. So that means we were great. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to jerichogreen.net. Make sure you get over to Green's House, like, subscribe, share. That's my new channel where I interview amazing people with interesting stories to tell. Also, hit that Teespring link to get some merch. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.